we must do it non-fatal communication. Very much higher. America first. To lead by an edit. Insiders fighting for insiders. Time to stop. Insiders fighting for insiders. More of insiders fighting for insiders. Time to stop. Insiders fighting for insiders. America first. Love the flow. 69. Now it's time for new, believable people, and we must do it. If we don't control insiders, this will be over and over. To lead by an any big fat. We won.
At this very moment, Donald Trump will be taking the oath of office for the second time.
What a good feeling. We're like winning, don't we? Hello, Washington, and hello, America. I'm thrilled to be back with so many friends, supporters, and true American patriots. The curtain closes on 4 long years of American decline, and we begin a brand new day of American strength and prosperity, dignity and pride. Bringing it all back.
My fellow Americans, it's been the privilege of my life to serve this nation for over 50 years.
You have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
We already have a nigger mayor, and we don't need any more nigger big shots.
Joe, we're doing this today. Time for you to walk out this way. And don't forget to take your gaze. Hey, Biden, get out. You f***ed us endlessly.
Come on.
Biden, it's not you, it's me. No, that was a lie. It's definitely all your fault.
Shut up.
You showed us that your brain's no more, and the media lies.
He is as sharp as
Now
ever.
it's time to go to the nursing home, baby. Bye.
High gas prices.
You got me feeling screwed. Economy is killing us, you know it's true. You were sniffing babies, and that ain't no lie. So it's bye. It's time for someone really tough. We wanna tell you that we've had enough. 47's back from 45, baby, bye.
Donald Trump has been elected.
Donald Trump has won the
Your
presidency.
senile and your pants are pooped. Your retarded son is implicated too. Bye.
Go, you know the thing.
We don't wanna be the losers, time for Donald Trump. Don't know who killed Mila Blue, but it didn't do. Kiss that big white house, got it. Your brain is straight up marshmallow fluff. We all see your
LLJ Cool J.
Make America great again.
You were sniffing babies, and that ain't no lie. So it's bye. Senator, President, you really suck.
I got that.
Even with Viagra, you was out of luck. 47's back from 45, baby, bye.
Click Rumble Premium and join now for $99 annually or $9.99 a month to get the entirely ad-free experience and exclusive content from Louder with Crowder, Nick DiPaolo, Mr. Guns and Gear, Donald Trump Jr., and an ever-expanding roster of content, creators, and free speech. Yes, we are glad to be here. It's a big day. Oh, I just had a frog in my throat, and my headphones were being gay. We can say that now because it's Inauguration Day. And, if at some point, right away, before we get, I have a clipboard so you know it's official. If at some point today you're still watching on YouTube for whatever reason and you see this, head on over to Rumble. It's a live show. Weekdays, usually 10 a.m. Eastern, because I think, comment below, I think we're this close. In the acceptable social lexicon. And I don't mean homosexual.
It's gonna come back.
It's gonna come back.
The left's gonna start saying it.
Yeah.
They've already started saying retard.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
So just short YouTube dump on that. Hey, look, it is Inauguration Day. We have a lot to get to. We do have a time to close Joe Biden, former Vice President Biden. We've been waiting on this for years. It's without a doubt, the funniest one we've done because I've forgotten. Like he makes Dan Quayle look like a member of Mensa. We have a time to close for Karen Jean-Pierre. We have a recap of what's been going on this weekend. We have boots on the ground, Mug Club Undercover down there at the inauguration in Washington, D.C. We also have some predictions as to what the executive orders are that we think we'll be seeing today. First day of Donald Trump as, well, president. I mean, right now, you know, it's at this point, come on, it's a technicality. So we have that and more to get to. But also, Gerald here today is not here today. We have Gerald C. because Gerald is at a Notre Dame game.
I'm not a boob guy.
Yeah.
Sounds just like him, though.
Yeah, he does. Mm-hmm. He does. Well, it's like...
Sounds like him, looks like him, kind of
What was that
like him.
film with Johnny Depp where you upload your brain?
I don't know that one.
You know what I'm talking about?
Is that Edward Scissorhands?
No, where you upload your brain and it's like it's still alive. Well, the point is, Gerald does that with a fornication doll.
And you're like, oh, wow, that's not so bad. Okay.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's like he's here.
Yeah.
And that means you'll never die, Gerald, because we can always keep you with us. So, since he is, what are you?
Full of hot air.
Noodles?
Research is just telling me Trump is entering right now if we want to.
Okay, all right. Well, then really quickly, because we're going to bring in Pops Crowder. Josh, I need you to go over there so you can help bring in the news.
Okay.
And let's bring in Pops Crowder. Let's do a Korean fire drill really quickly.
Okay.
I go.
Did they tape him in the chair? Jesus. Yeah, I put him in there for safety.
All right. I can't hear the music when I'm doing it because it's not on the speaker. It's in my headphones, but I assume it was the Korean?
Yes.
Oh, nice. What a perverse culture. So drinking game rules. Everybody, it's some day drinking because I know it's a celebratory experience. This is what makes us different from the other broadcasts. You drink today anytime someone mentions January 6th and you hear this. Anytime there's some coverage of protests and you hear that. Anytime President Trump mentions executive orders and then you finish your drink, if there is any moment that you experience where they, I mean media, cuts to someone who makes you want to drink for any reason at all.
That's pretty self-explanatory. That's pretty simple.
We assume nobody is working today. So
Yes. Well, also because it's MLK Day.
Yeah.
So in honor, I smoked crack.
Hey. Oh, I cheated on my wife.
Yes. That being said, we all actually were being monitored by the intelligence community, so we did honor his legacy. And Pops Crowder, how are you, sir?
Fantastic. I'm
Good.
more excited than ever.
Yeah?
Yes.
Even
Big
at
day.
that age.
Yes.
No blue chews here. No.
Hymns.
Hey, that's supposed to be confidential.
Yes. I guess President Trump, I thought he was making his way in here at the half hour. They're letting us know that he's coming in right now. Oh, no, it's Kamala Harris. All right. So Martin Luther King Day. Do we have any
She's
MLK?
so mad. She's so angry.
Any MLK music?
I have a stinger.
Oh, okay, good.
Right, that works, I think.
Because MLK ain't easy. So, some fast facts that you maybe didn't know since it's Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Key fact number one, the King family actually paid the hospital bill when Julia Roberts was born. Did you know that?
Oh, it's very nice.
They paved the way for Brockovich Aaron.
Oh, thank goodness for that.
Key fact number two, there are over 730 streets named after him in America, and 0 are safe.
Oh, right. I think that's
actually an indicator of it not being safe.
And key fact number 3, he liked them big bitches.
What? Who doesn't?
Here's the best among us. So inauguration had been going on here. Let us know what it is that you're looking forward to most. Also, this week we are going to have, I believe, the first interview exclusive with Enrique Tarrio, the founder of the Proud Boys. January 6th was sentenced to 20-something years in prison. We anticipate he will likely be pardoned today, and I believe we have Pops Crider Brianna is down there.
She's going to bring it to us.
Going to be interviewing him and get the full scoop. Also, a lot of traditions underway. Don't know if you know this. People are there. Everyone wants to be seen. Who are they wearing? Melania Trump today wearing Carmen Sandiego. So she is. Yep.
Oh, there it is.
Carmen Sandiego.
That's Carmen St. Petersburg.
Also, I don't know if you know this, but they have Zuckerberg, I believe, Bezos, and Pichaya of Google. They're all with Donald Trump at. There's a church. They're down there at a church.
St. John's Church.
St. John's Church. They're all there. And we actually have a picture of it live right now. Yeah.
Oh.
So
they don't show up.
Their images don't show up.
I can't hear the laughter anymore. Vance, is Vance talking? Sorry, we have this live right now. Bring it up full screen for people who are not, for people out there who don't know what's going on. First, I thought it was Pichaya behind him. Is he going to be speaking? It looks like he may.
There's a microphone in front of him.
Oh, Donald Trump Jr. is like scary smiling.
Yeah. He heard you.
Yeah. Yes, he did.
Just like when Kanye
the internet was like, tone it down a notch. Tone it down. Tone it down. You're overselling? No. He does have a smile like that if you see him in person. He just, it's worth every penny.
That's the smile of vindication.
Yep. There's a lot. What is it? Really, we're going to be just combing the internet today to see what's going on. And you let us know what it is that you want us to cover most as well, because we have live boots on the ground who can go anywhere they can mobilize. In the social lexicon. I really was upset when we lost that word.
I didn't know it went away.
Yeah.
Well, it never went away for William.
Passion. That's right.
Yeah,
Never went away for William.
It never went away. Neither did choking. So you might remember. You might remember before we get to this, we want to contrast what a different tone in this country. You know, you think about it, it's almost, it's easy to become complacent. I think that's kind of the theme today is don't do that, because you look at big tech, you see X, right? It used to be Twitter, Jack Dorsey. Now you have Musk. You see Zuckerberg with Meta, who's changing his tune. You see Bezos, who's going to be there, and it would be easy. Well, okay, big tech is, I guess now, what is there to fight against? You still have YouTube, you still have Google, and I don't trust these people any further than I can throw them. And then you look at media, right, that might be adversarial. Well, no one really watches legacy media a whole bunch anymore. And then you look at the landslide election. You look at what you have the popular vote. You look at the mandate of the masses. There definitely is a huge pendulum swing, and not just politically. It's not just one person. It's not that you want a few key swing states. The culture has changed in this country. I think we're going to look back at this, these last 12 years and say, gosh, remember when we were telling people that they were actually they were hateful if they didn't want to sleep with
Trump
women who had wieners?
Sorry.
Okay, all right, sorry. This is a cultural change. Here he is right now, President Donald Trump. He's walking in. We didn't even get to our time to close.
Jeez, that's quick.
There's Carmen Sandiego.
Hiding those eyes.
We also, by the way, have 7+1 after this. Joe Biden rejected biopic titles, and we do have Thomas Finnegan on the ground. I didn't realize he was coming out this quickly.
We also have 20% off merch site-wide. Use promo code Inauguration.
All these shirts that you see are available right now.
Yeah, we've all got inauguration themed shirts on here.
Yes. This happened really fast. We were pretty sure it was going to happen at noon.
I know.
And we have a whole montage for
once.
you. All right. Let's go. Drinking game rules. You can bring them up so you guys know how to follow along. I bet you this won't be that long of a speech. I'm betting 25 minutes or less.
I'm going to start with a sip.
I'm back, bitches! Just when you thought it was safe to go back in the swamp. Surprise!
Totally different tone.
What is that arena they're cutting to?
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated.
No one tells President Trump to sit. He should stand just on principle. I'll sit what I want. I feel like it. This looks comfy. Just remember, all of you, you played a huge role in this. Mug Club Undercover doesn't happen without you. The cultural shift doesn't happen without you. I know it's easy to think that, hey, things never change. It's an uphill battle. Go back to when I started, many of you with me, 2009.
The chairwoman of the Joint Congressional Committee on
This didn't
Inaugural
exist.
Ceremonies, the Honorable Amy Klobuchar.
Honorable?
We're using that term a little loosely, these folks.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the 60th presidential inauguration. Today, President-elect Trump and Vice President-elect Vance.
Okay, we don't need to listen to Klobuchar, by the way, who said that the 2016 election was stolen. I don't know if you remember that. She headed up one of those commissions. So for those of you,
stole that haircut from a bitch.
Yes.
Can I? Sorry to start.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sip already. We just got in from research that Biden had just pardoned a bunch of his family.
Oh, really?
Apparently.
Well, I know he already pardoned Hunter. Now he pardoned the rest of them?
I
James
guess.
B. Biden, Sarah
James.
Jones Biden,
James
Valerie
needed it.
Biden Owens, John T. Owens, and Francis W. Biden.
I'm not going to lie to you guys. I know you expect me to know a lot more than the average. I don't know who Francis T. Biden? What was the last one? Francis Owen?
W.
Francis W. See, that's how little I know about him.
That sounds like a cartoon.
But I'm pretty sure he's guilty.
Is Ashley in the mix there? I didn't see.
Yeah, well, she was pardoned
so her
for
diary
being,
is still fair game.
She was pardoned for being too sexy until she got over the hill when she turned 8.
Yeah. Not your words, Biden's.
Yeah.
But hey, I want to get a look at all those laptops, though. See what's going on.
He showered with his daughter. You guys remember that?
I read about it.
So, Joe Biden, former Vice President Joe Biden, showered with his daughter. She wrote about it in her diary. Like, it wasn't like it was a frame job because she wasn't setting him up when she was between pages of Teen Beat. Like, let me just plant this in my diary that my father showered with me beyond the age of being appropriate. No, that's how you know it actually happened. So, before I had
a twisted version of the Notebook.
like the Notebook meets Benjamin Button, except it's a traction in reverse. For those of you who don't remember this, just to sort of see the different tone, we have boots on the ground. We'll get to some undercover footage that's exclusive here. Let's go back. Let me transport you back in time to what inauguration looked like, in the year of the Pussy Hat, the protest, 2017.
Not everyone gathered here in Washington today came to celebrate President Trump's inauguration.
Our goal is to disrupt it, just like our name says, and we've definitely been disrupting it all day.
Burning cars and smashed windows. A small group of protesters dressed in black, their faces covered, armed with hammers and bricks.
So ain't nobody gonna perform for Donald Trump, huh? Which one of you jigaboo ass gonna be the first one to do it? I'm waiting. I'm gonna roast the fuck out one of you.
Light it up!
That for all of that resistance, for all of that opposition, Donald J. Trump is now President of the United States.
It's still funny.
It's like Luke when he finds out Darth Vader's his dad.
Yes. Only he finds out he has no dad.
The student loans aren't
You are a test tube baby.
What?
I love you, Dad.
And the tone couldn't be more different here today. This is actually footage from our folks on the ground. This is these are the remnants, the retreads. This go around, these are the protesters left standing today.
Have a choice to accept a future that is forced on us.
They're not bringing their best.
For the future that we want.
Involve Amish quilts.
I'm sure Gaza's happy about your DJ. Oh my God.
Are those the faceless guys from 300?
Those are the Jabberwockies.
So first and foremost, I'm here because we're all affected whether we want to admit it or not. Some people like to say
the fucking circus.
The issue, but any issue that affects one marginalized group is eventually going to affect another.
You know what? That's actually not true. I don't know if you know this. One issue that maybe affects people who are delusional or perhaps suffer from mental illness. It's okay. We can say that on Facebook now. I don't know about YouTube. It doesn't actually affect everyone who doesn't share those traits. And don't you love how the only remaining protesters, they are out there. Let me be really clear. Out there in freakish outfits with their degenerate fellow protesters, speaking completely unaccosted about the gross violations of their civil rights. The reason they're going to go is because no one cares. It's like, yeah, you just can't be around our kids. You just can't do drag shows around our kids. You can't put kids in puberty blockers. Go and do whatever you want. Well, fine. Yes, but we have a 40% attempted suicide rate, and it doesn't get better after the surgery. I'm sorry. Doesn't affect me. That's where we are now. People don't care. No one's buying it.
The marginalized just voted in a new president.
Yes, exactly.
None of us even asked what that lady was dressed as. That's how much we don't care. We're like, what are you, a claw machine? Doesn't matter.
Was that a British phone booth?
What are you, a claw machine? And this is pervert Smurf? I don't know what's going on here. No one cares.
Were you about to say something there, Noodles?
I was just going to say, yeah, lest they say that 2020 was a violent anomaly on the right, they're bringing, we brought mini gallows. They brought a guillotine.
They brought an actual guillotine?
An actual guillotine. That's
a functioning guillotine.
I hope they make a mistake and it accidentally goes off and chops something off.
Yes. I was going to say, what are the betting odds that someone uses that for a makeshift sex change operation?
And then The Daily Show tweeted out this gem. Fun fact, technically, there's still time to do an insurrection.
Yeah, here's the thing. I actually think that's funny.
It is.
But considering that Fight Like Hell was seen as actual domestic terrorism, I say lock them up. I say lock them up, or at least give them stocks, vegetables, a couple of heavy metal objects, maybe something with some mercury filling.
Yeah, stocks are good.
Yeah.
Give us some tomatoes.
Yeah.
Throw them at you.
Public shaming. Wow. That's an actual size guillotine. Can someone bring up the old Mike Pence? Remember when people were saying hang Mike Pence? They were trying to say.
There was human hair on that guillotine blade.
Yeah. Well, that's, again,
functional.
Pubic hair, but still.
By the way, this is just more work from Big Schick. It's Big Gillette.
Big Schick.
That's what they're doing. Are they still in business?
Some people say you need 5 blades. Not here at Schick. One blade. I'm a one-blade man.
You're going to like the way you mutilate. Now. Also, but here's the thing. There's some people still clinging onto the... But everyone else, it's hard to protest more freedom of speech. It's hard to protest lower taxes. It's hard to protest more Second Amendment rights, right? It's pretty hard to paint them as a tyrant, but you still have some people out there who really want that victim status because that's currency these days. Of course, I'm speaking of AOC and the squad. Here is her video because she was being asked by everybody, according to her, if she was going to be attending.
I asked her.
Inauguration. Yeah, many people asked her.
Yeah.
Allegedly everybody, according to her social, just like she was there for the pipe bomb. Here is her answer as to whether she'll be attending inauguration.
All these journalists are like, Congresswoman, are you going to the inauguration? Congresswoman, are you going to the inauguration? Are you going to the inauguration? Let me make myself clear.
Please do.
I don't celebrate rapists.
Whoa!
So no. I'm not going to the inauguration.
How much you want to bet? 5 minutes after that, she has to get a choke her a little bit. Now,
that wasn't clear at all.
Yes, it wasn't like, wait, what are you talking about? Are we talking about what? Carla Homolka, B2K? What are you you're trying to say Donald Trump's a rapist.
How much you want to bet she has R. Kelly on a playlist?
Yes.
I think she was referring to these people.
Yes. Yeah. By the way, can you go back? Those are the what are the Dig Dug? What are those little people who were in Smash Brothers? Little ice people.
Smash Brothers.
That's what the person looks like. Those little igloo people from.
I don't know. Looks like an avatar.
Noodles knows who I'm talking about. The little ice people. I don't know.
Sorry.
Point is,
sunglasses up on the hat.
Somewhere a father is weeping,
or dead.
If he's still.
Also, perspective versus reality. You asked for.
Yeah, right. There was the original. Right, they were going. They were going to hang Mike Pence. And today they show up with an actual guillotine. So thus far, we've already seen just as bad as January 6th, as far as, the items, the accoutrements that they've brought. I think an actual guillotine, that's accurate to scale replica is worse than a noose. And hey, there's still time for an insurrection is more of a direct call from the Daily Show interns than, hey, you got to fight like hell and make your voices heard peacefully, patriotically. Comment below. And by the way, hey, everyone out there who's right wing, just comment below. Hey, let's keep everything peaceful, right?
That's cute. There's still time for an insurrection coming from the show that can't even find a host.
Yeah. Well, he comes in twice a week, right?
They got it's a different host every day, and then he comes in on Mondays. Jon Stewart comes on Mondays.
I almost think because it looks like they're going to have other speakers, and I guess are they issuing a prayer right now, Archbishop? Okay, I don't know. Yeah. Let's hear what the prayer is, and then we have
charity for all, with firmness in the right as God gives us to see the right. Remembering General George Patton's instructions to his soldiers as they began the Battle of the Bulge 8 decades ago, pray. Pray when fighting, pray alone, pray with others, pray by night, pray by day. observing the birthday of the Reverend Martin Luther King, who warned, "Without God, our efforts turn to ashes." We, blessed citizens of this one nation under God, humbled by our claim that in God we trust, gather indeed this Inauguration Day to pray for our President Donald J. Trump, his family, his advisors, his cabinet, his aspirations, his vice president, for the Lord's blessings upon Joseph Biden, for our men and women in uniform, for each other whose hopes are stoked this new year, this Inauguration Day. We cannot err in relying upon that prayer from the Bible, upon which our president will soon place his hand in oath, as we make our own the supplications of King Solomon for wisdom as he began his governance. God of our fathers, in your wisdom you set man to govern your creatures, to govern in holiness and justice, to render justice with integrity. Give our leader wisdom, for he is your servant, aware of his own weakness and brevity of life. If wisdom which comes not from you be not with him, he shall be held in no esteem. Send wisdom from heavens, that she may be with him, that he may know your designs. Please, God, bless America. Please, mend her every flaw. You are the God in whom we trust, who lives and reigns forever and ever. Amen.
Amen. Before, I believe we have 5 minutes until Donald Trump. So look, just to let you know, Joe Biden has made a few last-ditch efforts. I don't know if you know this. He just pardoned some people. So Fauci, Mark Milley, the January 6th committee members and staffers, just so you know. So that's the thing. So we expect Donald Trump to pardon the January 6ers who are guilty of no more than trespassing, if even that. But Biden did a lot on his way out. He's been trying to damage everything to try and give Donald Trump quite a bit to repair. So before Donald Trump enters in as president of the United States, I think we should one last time right now, for everyone who's had to watch these last 4 years, enjoy this. Former Vice President Joe Biden, time to close.
We already have a nigger mayor. We don't need any more nigger big shots.
They're going to put you all back in chains. Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids. Corn Pop was a bad dude, and he ran a bunch of bad boys. Let me start off with 2 words. Made in America. They gave me a list here. 4 more years. Pause. 4 more years. Pause. 4 more years.
Time to close. Endings and beginnings are ending and beginning now.
Said, Jill, if there's ever a problem, just walk out on the balcony here, or walk out, put that double-barrel shotgun and fire 2 blasts outside the house. If you want to fight against the country, you need an F-15. If you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black, COVID has taken this year, just since the outbreak, it's taken more than 100 years. What must be what?
Time to close. Endings and beginnings are ending and beginning now.
Yeah. Keep up the good work. I acquired a nickname I'm very proud of. I am Joe Bidenopoulos. You might say raised in synagogues in my state. I'm lucky. I guess it's because I'm Irish. I was sort of raised in the Puerto Rican community at home. Before I went to the black church. Not a joke, Andy knows this. Unlike the African-American community, with notable exceptions, the Latino community is an incredibly diverse community.
Time to close. Endings and beginnings are ending and beginning now.
And they're going through a very, very painful experience.
It was a mistake to use the word. I didn't say crosshairs. I meant bullseye. Oh, I wish you were in high school. I could take him behind the gym. That's what I wish. The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters. And you want to check my shape on it, let's do push-ups together, man. Let's run. Let's do whatever you want to do. Look, here's the deal. Hey, Nazi fags. Why attack Sanders? Why? You're getting nervous, man. You ever been to a caucus? No, you haven't. You're a lying dog-faced pony soldier. You said you were, but now you got to be honest. I'm going to be honest with you. That's a great asset. More inflation. What a stupid son of a bitch.
Time to close. Endings and beginnings are ending and beginning now.
How would you say your mental focus is?
Oh, it's focused. All men and women created by you know the thing.
Well, President Harris led this effort.
And now I want to hand it over to the president of Ukraine, ladies and gentlemen, President Putin. America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was going to put beer brewed here. It is used to make the brew beer in this refinery. Oh, everything we have to do with, look, I really don't know what he said at the end of this.
Joe, you did such a great job. You answered every question. You knew all the facts.
I know that it's time for things to close. I know that it's time for things to close.
All right, they're swearing in Vice President J.D. Vance right now, though I do have commentary on that afterwards. Hey, look, it's the non-gang rapist, Kavanaugh.
Any mental reservation.
Without any mental reservation.
Or purpose of evasion.
Or purpose of evasion.
And that I will well and faithfully discharge.
And that I will well and faithfully
kids
discharge.
Gonna be kids. I love
the
it.
Duties of the office.
The duties of the office.
On which I am about to enter.
On which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Mr. Vice President.
Hey, Bezos is back there. You see that?
Don't sniff those kids, Joe. I know you want to get
Yeah, come on, Joe. Just try and leave with your dignity.
Come on, kids. Come with Daddy. Don't talk to Joe.
Chief Justice Roberts to administer the presidential oath of office.
Here we go. You know what? I'd say take a drink when this oath happens just because why not?
I am.
Oh, I just hit my microphone. Gosh, can you guys believe it? It really is the single most storied comeback in political history in this country.
And repeat after me. I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear.
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear.
That I will faithfully execute.
That I will faithfully execute.
The office of President of the United States.
The office of President of the United States.
And will, to the best of my ability.
And will, to the best of my ability.
Preserve, protect, and defend.
Preserve, protect, and defend.
The Constitution of the United States.
The Constitution of the United States.
How's that
so
feel,
help me
Kamala?
God.
So help me God.
Look at her.
Congratulations, Mr. President.
Hey, there you go. Hallelujah.
Kamala did a nod. She did it at the event. She went, "It's over."
Hey, Ivanka's dressed like Cammy from Street Fighter.
Nice. I like that Trump is wearing, he's either wearing a purple tie or a red and blue checkered tie. It's like
please tell me that those cannons are aimed at a couple of pussy hats on the horizon.
Those actually have t-shirts in them that say Trump won.
Just Mike Pence in a dunk tank.
That's a good-looking tribe, though.
You know what it is? It's a normal-looking tribe. That's the difference, except for Doug Burgum.
Yeah, he's just lurking back there.
Like, 1, 2, 3 Trumps.
The lights are too bright.
Yeah.
Who's the tall kid?
Oh my God.
Yeah, you can't get up there to sniff, buddy. Those shoulders are off limits for you.
So those outgoing have to hand the reins over to the man who they said was a threat to democracy, existential threat. Just think about that. Come on, give him some space, people.
Yeah.
Look at this. He's going to shoulder bump that.
The guy leaned in a little bit. He leaned in to stick him.
Hilarious.
Come on, the guy had it coming. You got to know they're coming in.
Get out of the way. He likes it. Trump likes it.
What was that guy thinking? It's like the guy who hears a barbershop quartet and tries to get his hair cut. It's like, no, this is they're clearly here for performance. Move.
It's like the drink cart on every airplane when you have the aisle seat.
Yes, exactly. Only it's the presidential inauguration. Oh, now the cameraman, too. He just got bumped.
He got smoked.
They took my spot.
This is much different. This is first in the rotunda since Reagan?
Is it?
That's what he said
Since
on
Reagan,
his
yeah.
Truth Social.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it is.
It is. It's very tight in there.
It is. Remember, because back in the day, if they had to change something due to weather, they would just say it's cold. Whereas nowadays, it always has to be something about, you know, your hairspray can and a hole in the ozone layer and turtles choking on straws.
Yeah.
Now it's just like, yeah, it's cold. We're going to do it inside.
Oh, there's the Queen.
No, her teeth are too nice.
The skin is too fair.
Surprised her face isn't on a Canadian coin. That girl looks like a Mako shark. There's a marine biologist out there who's like, finally something that I can relate to.
Hell yeah, the one guy with rhythm is singing along.
Yeah, exactly.
Very nice. keep going back to him.
Yeah, he's enjoying it. This guy's like, I don't like that colored fella. How great would it be if it was just the statue of David with a pecker right there? I always wonder how much that matters. Like, if he had an itch on his nose, would it screw them all up? Like, would they all of a sudden go into a minor key, like Black Sabbath?
The maestro?
Yeah.
They all bite their tongues.
Barron looks so much like him.
The left just always ignores all of these traditions when they talk about the separation of church and state, which isn't in the Constitution. I know, because they don't really know the First Amendment. They ignore it in all other facets. But, of course, this is a country deeply steeped in Christian theism. There's no way around it.
Well, that's a deeply spiritual stanza to that song.
Yeah.
They don't even know what they're hearing.
Is it me, or do the aisles semi-shape a swastika a little bit there from the aerial view?
I think you're seeing what you want to see, Stephen.
Well,
it's like a Rorschach.
It's the Aryan view.
Yes.
Yeah, don't take that shot again.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. And a beautiful building. Remember when we used to make beautiful buildings?
Mm-hmm.
Now they all look like Qdobas.
Yeah. Now it's all modern deco and tiny houses. I have a toilet that uses ash. It's compost. Yeah, it smells like crap.
Don't get me started on open floor plans. Oh, you charge me more for no walls? Thanks.
Those are all the priceless works of art that were left untouched during the insurrection.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
No tags, no slashing.
But there's footprints.
As they reverentially paced past.
It is my honor and pleasure to introduce to you the 45th and the 47th President of the United States of America, Donald J. Trump.
That's right.
Remember this, folks. Remember when everyone said he absolutely has no chance. It was completely written off. Remember this. When people tell you that any type of struggle is futile, this was not supposed to happen. Every single trick in the book was used.
Mm-hmm. This wasn't supposed to happen in 2015.
It was not.
In a long time.
I think they've got Biden on an apple box there. He's not that tall.
Thank you very much, everybody. Well,
all right, bring up the drinking game rules just so people can see it.
Much. Vice President Vance, Speaker Johnson, Senator Thune, Chief Justice Roberts, Justices of the United States Supreme Court, President Clinton, President Bush, President Obama, President Biden, Vice President Harris, and my fellow citizens. The golden age of America begins right now.
Stick it. Right from the beginning.
Oh, you're not going to clap for that, Kamala?
The Vice President mulatto age.
From this day forward, our country will flourish and be respected again all over the world. We will be the envy of every nation, and we will not allow ourselves to be taken advantage of any longer. During every single day of the Trump administration, I will very simply put America first.
There you go.
That's right.
Thank you.
Our sovereignty will be reclaimed. Our safety will be restored. The scales of justice will be rebalanced.
Nice.
The vicious, violent, and unfair weaponization of the Justice Department and our government will end.
Boy, he came in hot.
Wow. He sure did. Wow.
Hey, Obama, thanks for setting the precedent.
And they've got to sit there and listen to it.
And our top priority will be to create a nation that is proud, prosperous, and free. America will soon be greater, stronger, and far more exceptional than ever before. I return to the presidency confident and optimistic that we are at the start of a thrilling new era of national success. A tide of change is sweeping the country. Sunlight is pouring over the entire world. And America has the chance to seize this opportunity like never before. But first, we must be honest about the challenges we face. While they are plentiful, they will be annihilated by this great momentum that the world is now witnessing in the United States of America. As we gather today, our government confronts a crisis of trust. For many years, a radical and corrupt establishment has extracted power and wealth from our citizens while the pillars of our society lay broken and seemingly in complete disrepair. We now have a government that cannot manage even a simple crisis at home, while at the same time stumbling into a continuing catalog of catastrophic events.
This is
abroad.
amazing.
It fails to protect our magnificent law-abiding American citizens, but provides sanctuary and protection for dangerous criminals, many from prisons and mental institutions that have illegally entered our country from all over the world. We have a government that has given unlimited funding to the defense of foreign borders, but refuses to defend American borders or, more importantly, its own people.
Wow.
Our country can no longer deliver basic services in times of emergency, as recently shown by the wonderful people of North Carolina, been treated so badly. And other states who are still suffering from a hurricane that took place many months ago. Or more recently, Los Angeles, where we're watching fires still tragically burn from weeks ago without even a token of defense. They're raging through the houses and communities, even affecting some of the wealthiest and most powerful individuals in our country, some of whom are sitting here right now. They don't have a home any longer. That's interesting. But we can't let this happen. Everyone is unable to do anything about it. That's going to change. We have a public health system that does not deliver in times of disaster, yet more money is spent on it than any country anywhere in the world. And we have an education system that teaches our children to be ashamed of themselves in many cases, to hate our country despite the love that we try so desperately to provide to them. All of this will change starting today, and it will change very quickly.
It's a campaign speech. Watch CNN. Their commentary is going to be Van Jones. This could have been a time for unity, and instead he's more of the same.
My recent election is a mandate to completely and totally reverse a horrible betrayal and all of these many betrayals that have taken place.
Finishing it.
And to give the people back their faith, their wealth, their democracy, and indeed their freedom.
Where's Beyonce now?
From this moment on,
Where's your Beyonce now?
Where's your Beyonce now? Is over.
Twerking.
Our liberties and our nation's glorious destiny will no longer be denied, and we will immediately restore the integrity, competency, and loyalty of America's government. Over the past 8 years, I've been tested and challenged more than any president in our 250-year history, and I've learned a lot along the way. The journey to reclaim our republic has not been an easy one, that I can tell you. Those who wish to stop our cause have tried to take my freedom and indeed to take my life. Just a few months ago in a beautiful Pennsylvania field, an assassin's bullet ripped through my ear. But I felt then, and believe even more so now, that my life was saved for a reason.
That's right.
I was saved by God to make America great again.
Oh, my goodness.
That might be one of the most offensive lines, according to the left, ever delivered. I was saved by God to make America great again.
Even the lesbians support him.
Thank you very much.
Whereas the left is too busy saying, why do you think God cares about your country more? I do. Deal with it. I think we put him as a centerpiece in this country, and so that's why we're the only country that's done what we've done.
That is why each day under our administration of American patriots, we will be working to meet every crisis with dignity and power and strength. We will move with purpose and speed to bring back hope, prosperity, safety, and peace for citizens of every race, religion, color, and creed. For American citizens, January 20th, 2025 is Liberation Day.
He did the Bill Pullman.
He did. He did.
Thought we did that sketch.
I know. It is my hope that our recent presidential election will be remembered as the greatest and most consequential election in the history of our country. As our victory showed, the entire nation is rapidly unifying behind our agenda with dramatic increases in support from virtually every element of our society, young and old, men and women, African Americans, Hispanic Americans, Asian Americans, urban, suburban, rural, and very importantly, we had a powerful win in all 7 swing states, and the popular vote, we won by millions of people. To the Black and Hispanic communities, I want to thank you for the tremendous outpouring of love and trust that you have shown me with your vote. We set records, and I will not forget it. I've heard your voices in the campaign, and I look forward to working with you in the years to come. Today is Martin Luther King Day, and his honor, this will be a great honor, but in his honor, we will strive together to make his dream a reality. We will make his dream come true.
Kamala, you going to sit for this one too? As a black woman, I think you'd stand.
Kamala, you're not Rosa Parks. Get off your ass.
You know who the Democrats are.
Oh, you're not going to stand for unity, huh?
Jot that down.
National unity is now returning to America, and confidence and pride is soaring like never before. In everything we do, my administration will be inspired by a strong pursuit of excellence and unrelenting success. We will not forget our country. We will not forget our Constitution. And we will not forget our God. Can't do that.
Can't do that. I'm gonna go off book here. Can't do that.
Can't do that.
He meant to tag it, but I appreciate it.
Or like I call him, good guy God.
Today I will sign
Not
a
Hamas
series
God,
of
good guy God.
historic executive orders. With these actions, we will begin the complete restoration of America and the revolution of common sense. It's all about common sense. First,
Look at
I will
Biden.
declare a national emergency at our southern border.
There you go. Executive order. Ding.
Ding.
Frank.
Oh, nice.
I am now out.
Is that the border czar looking on?
I think it's embarrassing to sit.
Yeah.
You got to stand.
All illegal entry will immediately be halted, and we will begin the process of returning millions and millions of criminal aliens back to the places from which they came. We will reinstate my Remain in Mexico policy.
Executive order.
I will end the practice of catch and release. And I will send troops to the southern border to repel the disastrous invasion of our country.
Here, here.
There you go. Pops, you're forgetting the drinking game
Under
rules.
the orders I signed today, we will also be designating the cartels as foreign terrorist organizations.
Kamala won't stand. I hope he just turns you. You're not going to stand? Act like I'm a mayor with a raging erection.
And by invoking the Alien Enemies Act of 1798, I will direct our government to use the full and immense power of federal and state law enforcement to eliminate the presence of all foreign gangs and criminal networks, bringing devastating crime to U.S. soil, including our cities and inner cities.
That's right. Gotta love it.
As Commander-in-Chief, I have no higher responsibility than to defend our country from threats and invasions, and that is exactly what I am going to do. We will do it at a level that nobody's ever seen before.
And quickly.
Next, I will direct all members of my cabinet to marshal the vast powers at their disposal to defeat what was record inflation and rapidly bring down costs and prices.
That means energy. We'll get into that.
The inflation crisis was caused by massive overspending and escalating energy prices, and that is why today I will also declare a national energy emergency. We will drill, baby, drill.
I think that's a drink, right?
I would have thought Kamala would stand up for that. Look, if you're not going to stand, make like the whore you are and split.
Amazing what you can do when you're not encumbered by all the
America will
leftist
be a
environmentalists.
manufacturing nation once again, and we have something that no other manufacturing nation will ever have, the largest amount of oil and gas of any country on earth, and we are going to use it. Use it.
We're going to use it. I'm off book again.
People
like
just forget that.
We will bring prices
It's an improv.
down.
We just think, oh, we need
Fill
Saudi
our
Arabia.
strategic
No. Go back
reserves
to your
up
caves.
again, right to the top.
We're good.
And export American energy all over the world.
What is Biden doing? Oh, no.
We will be a rich nation again, and it is that liquid gold under our feet that will help to do it. With my actions today, we will end the Green New Deal, and we will revoke the electric vehicle mandate.
See, Joe, drink. See how your people hurt you.
Sacred pledge to our great American auto workers.
Oof, Kamala.
How can you watch this and be upset?
Keep this and remember it, and then show it next election to the UAW. Be like, remember those guys? Dude, they stayed seated when he talked about you.
Buy the car of your choice. We will build automobiles in America again at a rate that nobody could have dreamt possible just a few years ago. And thank you to the auto workers of our nation for your inspiring vote of confidence. We did tremendously with their vote.
Wow.
The direct slap in the face.
Yeah. I will immediately begin the overhaul of our trade system to protect American workers and families. Instead of taxing our citizens to enrich other countries, we will tariff and tax foreign countries to enrich our citizens.
Absolutely.
There you go. Drink. That's another executive order.
For this purpose, we are establishing the External Revenue Service to collect all tariffs, duties, and revenues. It will be massive amounts of money pouring into our treasury, coming from foreign sources. The American dream will soon be back and thriving like never before to restore competence and effectiveness to our federal government. My administration will establish the brand new Department of Government Efficiency. After years and years of illegal and unconstitutional federal efforts to restrict free expression, I will also sign an executive order to immediately stop all government censorship and bring back free speech to America.
Here.
There you go. Thank you. Thank Rumble.
That's our business.
By the way, Rumble Premium, you guys can join. Click that button. This election wouldn't have happened without Rumble. You guys know that. Back in the day, YouTube had a monopoly. Wasn't even close. All of this is changing.
Never again will the immense power of the state be weaponized to persecute political opponents. Something I know something about.
Oh, that sounds like a fascist. Never will it be used to persecute political opponents.
It will not happen again. Under my leadership, we will restore fair, equal, and impartial justice.
Beautiful.
Under the constitutional rule of law.
Here's the thing. For anyone to be mad about what you would have to believe that everything is a lie. He has made this blanket for everybody and included proactively political opponents. He's saying, go nuts. It's America. You didn't hear that
this week
from the left.
I will also end the government policy of trying to socially engineer race and gender into every aspect of public and private life.
Good.
You know how this bitch got here?
We will forge a society that is colorblind and merit-based.
Remember, 6 years ago, they said that's actually white supremacy.
As of today,
because it's not fair.
It will henceforth be the official policy of the United States government that there are only two genders, male and female.
Oh, my goodness. He stuck that one.
Wow. Hey, I don't know if you remember this. I was banned from campus. 2017, there are only two genders, changed my mind. There's a change. It's now national
Baron
policy.
like that one. He likes the ladies.
Kid from kindergarten cop.
Penis. Service members who were unjustly expelled from our military for objecting to the COVID vaccine mandate with full back pay.
That's right.
There you go.
Good. Full back pay. There you go. That affects thousands of lives right there. Do you understand that? We know a lot of those people.
Wait till you see the settlements for these J6 guys.
And I will sign an order to
millions.
stop our warriors from being subjected to radical political theories and social experiments while on duty. It's going to end immediately.
Thanks. They need to learn react to contact.
Also, we're going to bring
Our
back
armed
push-ups.
forces will be free
Sorry,
to
ladies.
focus on their sole mission, defeating America's enemies.
I think this is the most consequential presidential speech of my lifetime.
Like in 2017, we
Mine
will
too.
again build the strongest military the world has ever seen. We will measure our success not only by the battles we win, but also by the wars that we end, and perhaps most importantly, the wars we never get into.
And we won't measure it by metric.
This speech will be remembered very well through history.
It's like the silliness ends today. The adults are now in charge. Everyone's smiling when they rise. Have you noticed?
My proudest legacy
They love it.
will be that of a peacemaker and unifier. That's what I want to be, a peacemaker and a unifier. I'm pleased to say that as of yesterday, one day before I assumed office, the hostages in the Middle East are coming back home to their families.
Oh, he nodded.
Biden and Kamala are nodding like, yeah, that was me.
I would stand up if I could.
I got to clap for something. Thank you.
There you go.
I need to be doing squats.
They finally stand for something. Wow.
Because they think they did it.
Yeah, they want to take
credit.
credit.
They take his credit.
Now stick the landing.
America will reclaim its rightful place as the greatest, most powerful, most respected nation on earth, inspiring the awe and admiration of the entire world. A short time from now, we are going to be changing the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, and we will restore the name of a great president, William McKinley, to Mount McKinley, where it should be and where it belongs.
GMC's going to rename their truck.
By the way, go look up the
McKinley.
pistol. Go look up the pistol that killed McKinley. It's really bizarre. Such a great president. He was taken out by a
made our
fruity
country
gun.
Very rich through tariffs and through talent. He was a natural businessman and gave Teddy Roosevelt the money for many of the great things he did, including the Panama Canal.
Oh boy.
Which has foolishly been given to the country of Panama after the United States. The United States, I mean, think of this, spent more money than ever spent on a project before and lost 38,000 lives in the building of the Panama Canal. We have been treated very badly from this foolish gift that should have never been made. And Panama's promise to us
The
has been
adjectives are
broken.
wonderful.
The purpose of our deal and the spirit of our treaty has been totally violated. American ships are being severely overcharged and not treated fairly in any way, shape, or form, and that includes the United States Navy. And above all, China is operating the Panama Canal, and we didn't give it to China, we gave it to Panama, and we're taking it back.
Whoa.
Oh,
Whoa.
yeah.
Xi Jinping just...
The drink.
Wow.
I shot him. I believe I shot myself.
Great. Now Trump's banned on TikTok.
Look, Biden's smiling.
Dana's up.
He won't be able to do
My message
that.
to Americans today is that it is time for us to once again act with courage, vigor, and the vitality of history's greatest civilization. So as we liberate our nation, we will lead it to new heights of victory and success. We will not be deterred. Together we will end the chronic disease epidemic and keep our children safe, healthy, and disease-free. The United States will once again consider itself a growing nation, one that increases our wealth, expands our territory, builds our cities, raises our expectations, and carries our flag into new and beautiful horizons. And we will pursue our manifest destiny into the stars, launching American astronauts to plant the stars and stripes on the planet Mars.
Sorry.
Fourth rock from the sun.
I just love the way he speaks, man.
That was nice to include Manifest Destiny in the planets.
Oh, yeah. That's how America's built, baby.
Aaron, it looks a little bit like that actor from, was it There Will Be Blood? The son
is
and...
the lifeblood of a great
I'm talking about that
nation.
actor. Like the
Right
Reverend in
now,
There Will
our
Be Blood.
nation is more
Daniel Day-Lewis? No.
ambitious than any other. There's no nation like our nation. Americans are explorers, builders, innovators, entrepreneurs, and pioneers. The spirit of the frontier is written into our hearts. The call of the next great adventure resounds from within our souls. Our American ancestors turned a small group of colonies on the edge of a vast continent into a mighty republic of the most extraordinary citizens on earth. No one comes close. Americans pushed thousands of miles through a rugged land of untamed wilderness. They crossed deserts, scaled mountains, braved untold dangers, won the Wild West, ended slavery, rescued millions from tyranny, lifted billions from poverty, harnessed electricity, split the atom, launched mankind into the heavens, and put the universe of human knowledge into the palm of the human hand. If we work together, there is nothing we cannot do and no dream we cannot achieve. Many people thought it was impossible for me to stage such a historic political comeback. But as you see today, here I am. The American people have spoken.
Where is Donald? Where is Donald? Here I am. Here I am. How are you today, Sir President?
It's Taylor Lautner.
I stand before you now as proof that you should never believe that something is impossible to do. In America, the impossible is what we do best. From New York to Los Angeles, from Philadelphia to Phoenix, from Chicago to Miami, from Houston to right here in Washington, D.C., our country was forged and built by the generations of patriots who gave everything they had for our rights and for our freedom. They were farmers and soldiers, cowboys and factory workers, steel workers and coal miners, police officers and pioneers who pushed onward, marched forward, and let no obstacle defeat their spirit or their pride. Together they laid down the railroads, raised up the skyscrapers, built great highways, won 2 world wars, defeated fascism and communism, and triumphed over every single challenge that they faced. After all we have been through together, we stand on the verge of the 4 greatest years in American history. With your help, we will restore America promise, and we will rebuild the nation that we love, and we love it so much. We are one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God. So to every parent who dreams for their child, and every child who dreams for their future, I am with you, I will fight for you, and I will win for you. We are going to win like never before. Thank you.
Hey, he's a wheelchair guy.
Thank you. Thank you. In recent years, our nation has suffered greatly, but we are going to bring it back and make it great again, greater than ever before. We will be a nation like no other, full of compassion, courage, and exceptionalism. Our power will stop all wars and bring a new spirit of unity to a world that has been angry, violent, and totally unpredictable. America will be respected again and admired again, including by people of religion, faith, and goodwill. We will be prosperous. We will be proud. We will be strong, and we will win like never before. We will not be conquered. We will not be intimidated. We will not be broken. and we will not fail. From this day on, the United States of America will be a free, sovereign, and independent nation. We will stand bravely. We will live proudly. We will dream boldly, and nothing will stand in our way because we are Americans. The future is ours, and our golden age has just begun. Thank you. God bless America. Thank you all. Thank you.
God bless you, sir.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Boy. Can someone get me a side-by-side of Barron Trump and Paul Dano? Oh, is he still going? I thought that was the end.
Just saying thank you. I think.
He literally doesn't even care. Doesn't even care that the other side is there.
Performing America the Beautiful, please welcome the Armed Forces Chorus and Carrie Underwood.
Have you ever heard her sing this? This is incredible.
That guy looks like old fat Elon Musk.
Time traveling.
At the end, the music stops and she belts. It's amazing.
Stand right in front of Kamala.
One of these things is not like the other.
Oh my God, it's perfect.
It's like the before and after.
Biden's asleep standing up.
He's reading the lyrics.
He thinks it's a menu.
Yes, I have the lobster.
Uh-oh.
False start.
You're fired.
Have her come in again.
Whoops. Not the best start to the America's golden age.
Looking at her ass. Look at him.
Biden?
Yeah, he did for it. Look, there, he's back. Oh.
She must work out.
I do some thrusts. He's like, she's got the ass of a 12-year-old boy.
He looks like Jeff Dunham.
She might have to go a cappella, which, if she does, good thing you got Carrie Underwood.
Somebody is shooting their pants.
Yes, right now.
Some audio guy's like, ah,
I'm getting deported.
Tell me you did a sound check. Tell me you did a sound check.
they had it. They just said the reason.
Someone's getting a helicopter ride over the Gulf of America.
Right in front of Rumble.
And the entire helicopter ride, he's just playing America the Beautiful on repeat. Remember this? Remember this?
The CD's skipping.
He goes, she said, just cut it.
You know the words, help me out here.
I told you.
Oh, yes.
Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee and crown thy good with brotherhood.
Kamala not singing.
From sea to shining sea.
What a...
There you go.
Wow.
That's actually better that way. That's screw it. This is America.
Yeah.
We'll make it happen, and we'll do it better than other people anyway.
Yeah. They downloaded the track from Kazaa.
Is it Paul?
Now watch, I bet you the conspiracies are already abound that the deep state pulled the track. Which,
Ladies and gentlemen, Senator Fisher will now introduce the benediction clergy.
Oh, don't make her follow Carrie.
I now call on Rabbi Ari Berman, Pastor Lorenzo Sewell, and Reverend Frank Mund.
So,
to
look, this
provide
is kind of
prayers
something
of
that
benediction.
I noticed here with this speech that's really different. If you have to boil it down to a point, it's really about the previous administration, it's diversity versus competence. It's about quotas versus excellence. You've heard me say this before. You can either have equal opportunity or you can ensure equity. But you can't have both. You cannot have equal opportunity while ensuring equal outcomes. The two preclude each other. You cannot ensure diversity. There's nothing wrong with diversity if it occurs naturally. If it's the natural order of people getting together in the pursuit of excellence. But you cannot artificially ensure equity and also pursue excellence. It really comes down to, and you'll hear this from people like Mark Cuban and Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, because we are going to make sure that we are diverse, and we are going to make sure that every single voice and every single person, color is represented, because that makes us stronger. Their view is ensure quotas are met because they'll try and convince you, sell you that it makes you stronger. Well, let me ask you, do you believe that is the case, or do you believe, as you just heard today, we're going to try and be as strong as possible? We are going to pursue excellence with as much vigor, as much zeal, as much effort as humanly possible, and let the cards fall where they may. And that tends to create some diversity, not ensured percentages, but that's the big difference. And just like he said, there are only two genders. Sounds like a small thing. You and millions of Americans were removed from the digital town square for saying that for years. For saying what every single civilization and humanity has known up until 2015. You were removed, you were censored, all in the name of diversity, all in the name of equity. We used to, or I should say the last few years, and certainly under Obama, remember you were kind of shamed for American success. It's kind of, we don't really deserve it. We have to spread it around. This is a new era. It's a different time. Where, hey, you know what? Maybe we are different from other nations. Maybe the nations who benefit from electricity, light bulbs, the automobile, the internet, you know what? Maybe other nations benefit when we pursue excellence. Kind of like putting on your own oxygen mask first, right? That's what this speech was about. You saw an entirely different outlook. And it just comes down to it really does come down to your worldview. Do you run a company? Have you gone to school? If you're trying to pass a test, did you focus on doing as well on that test as possible? Or did you focus on ensuring that everyone's different preparation methodology was executed so that no one's feelings were hurt? When you run a company, do you say, I want to make this company as effective, as successful as possible? Or, well, I have to make sure that we hit all the demographics, like the Girl Scouts. What do you think will lead to greater success? And do you believe that America should strive to be as successful as humanly possible? And here's the thing. You know that we're different. The left knows that we're different. Do you know how you know? How often have you heard atheists or have you heard the left say, oh, really? Well, you have a very privileged view. You didn't do anything to be born here in America. There are people starving in Africa. All of that is true. All of that is, you just said that we're different. You just said that we're better. You think the world is better off by us cutting ourselves off at the knees? Let me ask you this. I can list you, a laundry list of ways the world is better off and has been better off by the United States being really the world's only significant superpower for over a century now. And none of you would necessarily disagree with it. You'd also have some caveats. You'd also have some negatives, and that would be true too. We haven't been flawless. Can you tell me any way in which the world would be better off if that superpower wasn't the United States? And if so, who replaces it? We all know it's going to be somebody. There's going to be a king of the hill. China? Russia? The UK? The EU? Any nation in Africa? Any nation in Asia? There's going to be someone. There's going to be someone steering the ship. Obviously, it's been the nation that pays over 4% of their GDP into NATO, the only one. The only nation that has the world's greatest peacekeeping force that has ever existed in the United States military. Obviously, it's been us. But we have been on a path that basically it's predicated on the policy. The Democrat Party in this country, the radical left really the movement internationally, but certainly in the United States, that has said it shouldn't be us. We shouldn't be in charge. We shouldn't view ourselves as better. We should focus on spreading it because they believe the world is better off. That era is over, and it's an era of, you know what? Let's be as great, as wealthy, as successful as possible because everyone benefits if head honcho is the United States. That's the difference. And you can hear it said now because the left was ashamed of it. It's the difference in shame of your country. You see it not only with DEI, you see it with what was taught in school. You see it with checking your privilege. You see it with the censoring of freedom of speech. You see it with the erosion of our institutions. The institutions, we're talking about intelligence agencies, our institutions going after Americans. Invariably, they were going after patriotic Americans who believe that this country is the greatest country ever. Think about that. Get rid of left and right. When they were going after parents at PTA meetings who didn't believe that there should be boys and girls bathrooms. When Barack Obama was using the IRS to audit Tea Partiers. When they labeled anyone January 6th an insurrectionist, a terror, every single time in the last, let's call it certainly 4 years, but I would also extend it to the Obama administration. Even if you don't agree politically, you would have to acknowledge that our institutions were purging, persecuting, and attacking people who do believe that the United States is the greatest country that's ever existed. Can we agree on that? It'd be hard pressed to find someone who would say that statement is not correct factually. So at a certain point, you have to ask yourself, why? Why does the persecution only go one way? And why has it always been from the left? And why does your country's institutions that you are demanded to trust persecute the people who believe in preserving the vision and values of America to begin with? We're back to those. No. What we're saying is we're not going to persecute. We're not going to use the IRS, the DOJ, the Department of Education to persecute people who believe that this was the greatest country on earth and want it to be again. Those are not going to be the enemies of the state. The enemies of the state should be the people who actually want to change the state and subvert the state. You know, like do away with the Constitution. First Amendment, Second Amendment. Like do away with the ideas of Western civilization, like the nuclear family. I'm sorry, a byproduct of white patriarchy. The idea of male and female. It sounds like a small thing. I'm really hoping that 20 years from now, people look at this speech and some kids don't even have context for it and go, why would the president have to say there are only two genders? That it'll be a given. And the reason for that is because billions of you, and not just this program, but you're a huge sample size, literally billions of you, tuned in to there are only two genders, changed my mind when no one was allowed to say it. Build a wall. When no one, remember in 2016 when that was considered racist? No one believes it anymore, including people who will be on the other side of that wall. What you just heard was a fundamental shift in tone, and it's really simple. It's America is great, and we should be greater, and we are going to put a focus on excellence versus shame in our nation. That's the change. And you can put everything under those umbrellas. Shame that we believe moms and dads are a thing, male and female is a thing. Shame that we believe success is a good thing. Shame that we've been at the forefront of all ingenuity. Shame that we are the ones, this country, tasked with the responsibility of protecting the free world so that other nations can have free health care and internet and experiment with green technology. Shame. Shame in using our own energy. Shame in having standards that have made our military the greatest that the world has ever known. Shame that we have people and parents who speak out freely. We label it hate speech. Shame in the very idea and fiber of being American. That's what we lived through. And he just said, all right, we're going to erase that. We're going to etch-a-sketch this shit and go back to what we have always been. When people say, oh, the right has moved and the parties have changed, I don't necessarily know that I agree. But I will say one thing. The Democrat Party wasn't always a party that was completely ashamed and wanted to erode the very fiber of America. That's what it's become. And that's what this mandate is. It's a rejection of that. And you can see it not only with the Musks of the world, not only that Rumble now had bigger election streams than YouTube and Google, and let alone CNN, ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox News. You can see it with Zuckerberg at Facebook saying what he's saying. And you can see it across this country with the demographic shifts of Mexican Americans. And yes, I mean Mexican Americans, not Hispanic Americans. Mexican Americans as a demographic going, yeah, should probably have a wall. Yeah, you know what? You really have the right as a country to determine who enters, just like the country I left. It's a complete rejection of this culture of shame in the United States of America. Shame of masculinity, shame of freedom, shame of Judeo-Christian values. Hey, you may not agree with it, but at least now people can discuss it. I remember. If nothing else, if I provide no other value to you, it's that you can go and see me as a 20-year-old, 18-year-old, probably even younger here on YouTube with a blue bed sheet and an old high 8 camera, digital 8 maybe, before we moved to mini DV. I was here when it was nothing, on YouTube when it was nothing but atheists, and there were no conservatives. There were no Christians. You were mocked. It was the era of Dawkins and Flying Spaghetti Monster, right? I was here for the very first online network. PJTV was one. You can see my videos. We're a part of that. I was here when Fox News launched what they called Studio B. I was at Fox News for 4.5 years. That was their online platform that was seen as an afterthought. I was here when I was on Fox News, and my own interviews that I would upload to this very channel, if you're still watching on YouTube, you should be watching on Rumble, were removed by Fox News' legal department because they didn't think there was a future in it, and it was a fad. Take your pick. Blaze, Daily Wire, and before Twitter was even a thing, I was here back on MySpace, and I can tell you there was a shift where people felt afraid to speak out, just with the point, afraid to speak the point of view that every single American held, really up until about 2008, or at least were allowed to espouse. So if there's a reversal, look, you're always going to have left and right. You're always going to have freaks. You're always going to have people who hate this country. You can go back to people burning the flag. You can go back to communism. Hey, guess what? McCarthy was right about a lot of it. But at least back then, the people who were fighting against it didn't feel shame in expressing their point of view and didn't have to fear the loss of their career, of their livelihood, and their very fundamental right to speak out. Because we didn't have the same centralized powers that exist today in big tech and media that silenced everyone. We're going to look back on this. If we stay vigilant, if we keep our feet on the gas, if we don't become complacent, and history can look back on the period, I would say, between about 2014, 2015 to 2024, that will be the period of time in the United States where free speech didn't exist, but it was a blip. And then Americans got it right. That's what this can be. It's hard because you were in it. But remember when you were in COVID, it felt like it was never going to end? The new normal? Remember that way back there? Remember that? You have people who don't remember it because they were born just a couple years before COVID. It's a blip. We're like, oh yeah, that was a thing. We're back to normal. I really pray that history will look back on that period of time between, I would say, 2014 to about 2024 as the lost decade. The erosion of fundamental American rights before we course corrected. And we went back to doing what it is that we've always done, imperfectly, but at least striving to create and be proud of the greatest country that's ever existed. That's a shift, and that's what you heard today. You heard it unapologetically. You wouldn't have been able to get that without the mandate that we saw this last election. That's the contrast I see. Anyway, I'm off my soapbox.
It looks like
good stuff.
Leaving
Good stuff.
the rotunda, probably heading back to...
they're exiting to probably do the flurry of executive orders.
Yep. All right. We're going to be going to the executive orders. Anything else that I missed? And
by the way, now that Trump is president, we have a new promo code.
Oh, we do?
Yes.
Oh, that's right. 47% off. Crowdershop.com.
Use promo code MAGA47.
MAGA47, or you can use, I think we also have another one here. You can use Trump47. Everything there is 47% off.
Yeah, Trump 47 is 30, but so you probably want to use the more discount
Yeah.
The higher discount, so 47.
Well, some people think no.
Yeah.
I mean, you could get 30 if you use 47.
Personally, look, Mug Club was created because we said, oh my gosh, we're going to lose all revenue and we can't speak out on social media. And now, look, Rumble Premium, what exists, all of these people under one roof, there was no alternative to YouTube. I just look, I thought I was having a heart attack. Turns out it was a panic attack. I've had 3 in my life ever. When I was in my guest room and got a call from YouTube saying, you've been demonetized for not violating any policies. That's how everyone here made a living. That's what I'd worked for my entire life. And they did it because they could. They did it because they could. And we've been living under that for over half a decade. The left has done it because they can. We're going to arrest parents speaking out at parent-teacher meetings because we can. We're going to kick out people more qualified to be in our military because they refuse to take an experimental mRNA injection because we can. We're going to remove people from the digital town square just for espousing American exceptionalism, Christian values, because we can. Well, now they can't. There are too many eyes on them. It's not the only game in town. That's a huge change. And I know we're going to executive orders. Any other notes from Josh?
Yes, actually, our team in DC has gotten close-up footage of the guillotine.
Oh, really?
The French Revolution execution device.
Which, by the way, if you want to know how to do a revolution shittily, the French Revolution. Even though I spent all this time on the French Revolution in college. I'm like, oh, so they never got it right.
What did it take, like 25 years or something?
Yeah, I didn't really know. People don't know that Guy Fawkes, where they're like, anonymous. Oh, yeah, V for Vendetta. Yeah, he wanted to establish a religious oligarchy, and the bomb didn't even work. All right. Yes, let's see the close-up footage from our Mug Club on the ground there in D.C. This is the entirely peaceful guillotine.
Yeah. That's dumb, yo. That's dumb.
Is that a rainbow flag?
Yep.
I hope that thing isn't sharp because you could actually, right there, like that's a size where you could actually kill somebody or harm
away
someone.
From you, yeah. It could do it. No, I like the take on shame. Very well put. That's exactly where we were. Everything was shamed. Every value, every principle, every history.
Yeah.
Good voice of Abby Phillip on CNN right now. I wonder what.
Oh, Abby Phillip. Let's hear what Abby Phillip has to say.
Usually presidents spend a lot of time talking about the country, about their vision for the nation, about its place in the world.
He did.
And Donald Trump talked a lot about him and how difficult it was for him to endure the last 4 years and the journey back to the White House. He talked about how his life was saved, he believed, by God to make America great again.
77 million people believe that.
The reason that's notable is because he understands that for his supporters, that is part of his political story. That's one of the reasons, as we were talking about earlier, that they love him and adore him.
Yeah, because
so
Barack
much.
Obama didn't get up and say, I was told that someone who looked like me couldn't make it. And his wife didn't say, I was never proud of America before my husband became president. Right? This is the whole thing. It's this pop, it's this social media pop psychology. I don't know. He's talking about himself. Therefore, he might be a narcissist. He's the only president in recent memory who was shot while running for president.
They're actively saying the opposite of what he said in his speech.
Yeah.
Most presidents talk about the country and the state of the things and where their place in the world. You missed the whole thing?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Did you miss the whole thing about the borders and being respected around the world?
Right.
Ending wars, not starting new ones, and being admired by the rest. Oh, you must have missed all of that.
Yeah.
You heard 3 sentences and...
They really are. Their mind is warped. It really is a pathology. Because if he ever mentions himself, and you know what, every now and then I think the American people want to hear a little bit about this president, the guy who ran for office, the guy who was persecuted by our intelligence agencies, the guy who was shot at, the guy who was accused of being a racist. You know why? Because all of you and I were. That's what it is. It's relevant. And he spent the vast majority of his time discussing. Well, I guess he wasn't discussing America's place when he said we're going to rename it the Gulf of America. When he said we're going to rename it We're going to take back the Panama Canal. When he said, hey, we're going to open up American energy immediately. We're going to be exporting it. When he talked about American auto workers. When he talked about our military. When he talked about us pursuing excellence.
When he talked about minorities by not saying black and white, but he mentioned every minority group.
Yeah.
Colorblind.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I will not forget you. I will fight for you. Oh, but he said I. He said I will fight for you. So that'd be the I.
Well, remember, he did say, I want to remember and honor Martin Luther King. He said, it's a great honor for me.
Yes, that's
to
true.
be inaugurated on Martin Luther King.
Everything's about him.
It's about him.
It's about him.
Yeah.
For crying out loud.
He's like, I want to make sure his dream come true. It's because he wanted to do it, not Martin Luther King.
He did kind of Jiminy Cricket that a little bit.
Yeah.
You should say reestablish his dream since the left took it away for 4 years.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. We do expect him. He's going to be going over right now to sign just an absolute flurry of executive orders. So we actually do have a couple of things that we want to, and we'll take some chats from you. We do have a 7+1. We do have Finnegan on the ground, but he is expected to sign a bunch of executive orders day one. We had a whole segment about Biden, but at this point, he's
he's
history.
Time to close. He's gone.
He's history. It's gone. Here's a clip regarding the day one executive orders you can expect.
But just imagine all of the good things that we will accomplish together with 4 more years in the White House, and we're going to do a lot of things. You're going to see something tomorrow. You're going to see executive orders that are going to make you extremely happy. Lots of them. Lots of them. Every radical and foolish executive order of the Biden administration will be repealed within hours of when I take the oath of office. Oh, you're going to have a lot of fun watching television tomorrow. Somebody said yesterday, sir, don't sign so many in one day. Let's do it over a period of weeks. I said, like hell, we're going to do it over weeks. We're going to sign them at the beginning.
So it looks like it could be in the, and by the way, all references available, louderwithcrowder.com, link in the description. Multiple like omnibus executive orders. People are saying it could be up to 200 in total. And if people try and say, oh, this is unprecedented, well, the previous record belongs to Joe Biden. So just so you know, he's going to send the most amount of executive orders in a day. So, hey, you know what?
That was celebrated.
He should stay under it by one.
Hope you like this. Live by the depends. And we're expecting he'll probably be pardoning the January 6ers, which, again, remember when we did that live stream, there was going to be that whole hearing. It was, I believe, was it Hurricane? Was it Harvey?
Yeah, it was a hurricane where they were not.
They didn't show up, and we did it.
Yeah.
And I think that got suspended from YouTube. You can watch it on Rumble, where we did an entire, from A to Z, why what you were told was a lie. And everyone was afraid. You even had people on the right going like, well, I don't support what happened on January 6th. I would say, no, I support most of them. Yeah, I support what most people did. Not if anyone committed a crime, of trespassing or vandalism, but the people who said remain peaceful and were invited in for a walking tour by the Capitol Police. Yeah, I support them. Yeah. Now people can say it because we all know it's not 9/11 times 2. So he's most likely going to be pardoning the January 6 folks. We don't know how many. He did say that people are going to be very happy with his January 6 decision in a way that Trump says.
And tomorrow, everybody in this very large arena will be very happy with my decision on the J6 hostages. Very happy.
Hostages.
I think you'll be very, very happy. I would say about 99.9% of this beautiful arena.
And that's the kind of thing that WAPO will fact check. Like, actually, it wasn't 99.9. Really? We're done with this, right? I think we're over that now, where these are the same people who will defend Islam, where they say, well, actually, 72 virgins really just mean it translates to countless virgins, to hundreds. I'm sure the virgins still aren't big fans of it.
Is WAPO going to change now that Bezos is there?
Yeah, WAPO, PolitiFact, Reuters, it's hard to keep track of the bullshit fact checkers. Let me give you some examples when we talk about January 6th. These are people, right? So some people go like, I don't know if, we'll hear this all the time. I don't know if politically that's smart. That's why everyone was afraid it was a third rail. I don't know if politically, January 6th people, yeah, but they're human beings. Let me give you, so there was a 68-year-old woman spent 60 days in jail. She pled guilty, one charge of demonstrating in the Capitol. There was a 66-year-old man, another 60 days in jail. Again, just demonstrated. There was a 64-year-old woman, 20 days in jail. Pled guilty to remaining in a restricted building, likely into which she was invited. There are countless examples. These are human beings. It's not an issue that's being politicized. There are people who showed up because they thought an election was fishy. Oh, you think that's less likely now that you've seen the election afterward? They were invited in and then spent months in the clink. You're damn right they should be pardoned. Like we told you, we're going to have an interview, exclusive, I believe, the first interview with Enrique Tarrio this week, who I believe was sentenced to 22 years in jail. He wasn't even in the city. Washington, D.C. He wasn't even in D.C. Think about that for a second. Think of how absolutely insane that is.
Yeah, he orchestrated it remotely.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of texting, I'm sure.
There are a lot of slip and fall lawyers that are going to be in touch with those people.
Think so?
And they should be.
All right. I don't know.
Yeah,
Sorry.
definitely.
Look,
Definitely. They need to be compensated for years of their lives removed, the big ones.
They're doing their final goodbyes here outside of Marine One.
Okay, let's go see that really
the helicopter.
Yeah.
And
I hope he pantses Joe Biden.
Kamala and her Doug were saying goodbye, doing their last goodbyes, and Trump gave him a nice pull-in shake.
Nice.
Set
He threw him off center?
Yeah.
Nice. He deserves it.
Extraordinary moments of an inaugural ceremony when the incoming president escorts the outgoing president to the waiting Marine One. I'm thinking back
Of course,
right
we
now
got a
to
tiny
8 years
female
ago
cop.
when
Yeah, I was just thinking,
President
like,
Trump did the same
who's this
thing
cartoon cop?
with outgoing President Barack Obama, and that was an extraordinary moment. They walked down
Isn't it
the
funny?
steps.
Just think about this for a second. I know you'll say this is being reductive. Okay, I'm fine with it. We have weight classes. What did I say?
No, I'm just kidding. Call me reductive.
I was like, did I say redundant? No, reductive. They'll say it. We have weight classes in every single contact sport. We acknowledge the necessity for weight class within the same gender, by the way. Everywhere from, I believe, bantamweight, flyweight, up to super heavyweight. In combat, you see it in wrestling, you see it in boxing and mixed martial arts. And then even if you're, above a certain size, usually in grade school or high school, you can't play football. Why? Because we know that there's a disparity. And as it relates to physical contact and violence, it's a challenge. Everywhere that we expect physical altercations, except police officers who will be fighting crackheads or crazy drug dealers on PCP. All of a sudden, a flyweight broad who has spent no time in any type of physical contact sport whatsoever, good enough when it comes to the presidential motorcade.
She's got a gun.
If it wasn't for the PCP, she'd be fine.
Do you realize if that woman stepped foot at a college wrestling meet with other women 2 weight classes above, it would be a national news story as to how dangerous and irresponsible this was. What? They had the 145, but she had to go. Did you see? She had to go against this 195-pound monster, let alone if she were to step out into a male boxing ring. But then we all have to act like, yeah, she's just as good as any middleweight male.
What's even
as
better
a Capitol Police member. It's absurd. This is where we are in the United States. Get her out of there.
And she looked bored.
Yes. I watched during the Occupy Wall Street riots, I watched a female cop who looked like Dark Helmet get hit in the head with a snare drum, and she was out for like 3 minutes. You just hate women. I don't want to see her get knocked out by a snare drum with some kid who just got off his mom's couch. He himself was a lightweight. He beat the shit out of her.
Biden's gone. It's over.
It's over. But just think of how far we've come.
Another hallelujah.
Well, what are you saying? You're saying that she's not as capable as any of the men in this room? Yes! Yes! Just like I'm saying, well, that's a man. Just because he has a penis? Uh-huh!
What do you think Biden's off to? What do you
He's
think?
gone. That's what I'm saying. He's gone. He's out. He's in the helicopter.
I know, but where's the helicopter
taking him?
taking
Stop
him?
for an ice cream cone, and then it's off to Delaware.
This is Joint Base Andrews.
Okay.
He's up to 31 flavors, except he forgot 29 of them.
He thinks that Joint Base Andrews is just a place where there's 2 guys named Andrew.
And
Let's drop him off at one of his beach houses.
Also, you know what? Let's give you here's how this affects you right now. And I know we have some liberals, some people who, if you're watching, you're on the left. You didn't vote for Donald Trump. Do you fear the IRS targeting you? Genuine question. Because we were there at the very first Tea Party, right? The Tea Party demonstrations. We're going, oh my God. Then we learned what was happening with Barack Obama and the IRS. You said this guy was a fascist. Do you fear the IRS auditing you because he didn't vote for Donald Trump, you need to know we all experienced that. It's a matter of record. And for people who are out there, by the way, that's it's no small deal. More people would rather be mugged in this country than be audited. Do not let the IRS, do not let tax issues overpower you. You can actually, our sponsor for the show, perfect time. Tax Network USA. Go to tnusa.com/Crowder, and they can help you with your taxes because, hey, you know what? This government they can go eeny, meeny, miny, you, and make it hell on you. And we've had that here in the office. Don't be like Billy.
Do you owe back taxes to the IRS? Tax Network USA is here to help. They've helped thousands of Americans settle disputes with the IRS, and they can help you. But don't just take my word for it. Listen to these testimonials.
I was at rock bottom, barely making rent on my studio apartment, just watching all my money go straight to the IRS.
I felt like the government drove in and took all my hard-earned dollars.
Felt like I was drowning in back taxes. Every time I tried to break the surface, the IRS would just pull me right back under.
Billy was in debt up to his neck.
What? Who said that?
But then I saw an ad for Tax Network USA.
I called Tax Network USA.
Tax Network USA pulled me right from out under the waves.
Don't be a Billy.
What? Who said that? What's wrong with being a Billy?
Don't let the IRS take advantage of you. Contact Tax Network USA for immediate relief and expert guidance. Call 1-800-245-6000 or visit tnusa.com/Crowder. That's tnusa.com/Crowder.
I don't have a computer.
Damn it, Billy!
All right, and I do believe we have we have our 7+1 actually rejected biopic titles for Joe Biden, and we're going to check in with our on-the-ground correspondent in a little bit. Time to close, Karen Jean-Pierre. But Noodles, you said we have a video of Zuckerberg. He's a boob man?
Apparently, yes. Here we go.
Hey, sneaking a peek.
Let's see.
This is Bezos' wife.
Oh.
It's great on repeat.
Yeah, he didn't just look at them like subtly. He looked and like he wanted confirmation. He smiled at her like, all right.
They sent us a still as well. I got it.
All right, I want to see what this is. I'm telling you, that guy is on testosterone. Something has changed. Good for.
All right.
So it's a very serious look and then a very warm smile.
The guy behind him is sneaking a peek too.
Everyone's sneaking a peek.
Hilarious.
I want a rundown on Bezos' wife.
So do they.
Yeah. Not the luckiest broad in the world who did just as much for Amazon and is worth how many hundreds of billions of dollars. Not his ex-wife, this one with the nice set.
The waitress.
Was that Barron taking a peek at Carrie Underwood?
No, it was Bezos' wife.
Oh.
Okay, show it to Josh. He didn't see it. Look, he doesn't just look. He visually confirms by smiling at her.
I shut it. I have to.
What did you do? You never shut tits. Like the first rule of mandom.
I love CNN still. They're just still following this helicopter as if they're like, no, don't go.
Hey, look, wait till you see the video.
Yeah.
All right, come on in, Pops Crowder. That's okay. Wait till you see the video. The video is, do you have it, Noodles?
I'm bringing it up now.
All right, he's bringing it up. Mark Zuckerberg, he likes them titties. He's about to community note those puppies.
Oh, hey.
Fact check. True.
Sticky notes, Eddie.
Yes. Yeah. Good for Zuckerberg. He's just going to become more and more unfettered. I bet you like a year from now he's going to be like, yeah, well, you know, I do jujitsu. I like tits. So sue me. Yeah, I basically I started with basically a hot or not version right at Harvard. Like, you surprised? You surprised that I like tits? I'm not ashamed. I like tits.
His current wife never would have made the rating system on the Facebooks, would she?
Oh, boy, that was cruel, but no, she wouldn't. Bezos' wife. Yeah.
Oh, boy.
At least he's not with her because of her money.
There's a nerd who had no game in school, and now he's trying to go back and say, how do you like me now? That's what he's doing.
Bezos?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it cost him like hundreds of billions of dollars to a woman.
Didn't even feel it coming off
She
his
left
arse.
him. She got with a teacher and then immediately left him because he didn't make enough money. It was so fast.
That was her philanthropy.
Yes, exactly. I want to be normal. Ooh, not like gross normal.
You mean you have to do things you have to grade paper, you have to work at night?
Oh, jeez. It's just I thought it was like a movie where it's like we're rich, but we're with the plebs. But no, this is gross. This is gross. I'm leaving you. Let's grab some chats from people who are watching this and experiencing it in real time. And then we've, of course, got our 7+1 and Thomas Finnegan. Thank you. We're always just glad to be here with you for these historical moments. And, of course, it's a live show, 10 a.m. Eastern, weekdays. Today was a little bit of a different special time. All right, Noodles.
All right, first chat from Amanda DeNice, 1. Question for the crew. How can Biden pardon people who haven't even been convicted of any crimes? Did he just pardon these people's whole life?
Pretty much. It's not unprecedented either. We've talked about this. We went through a bunch of presidents who have done it in the past. I don't have them all at the ready, but Fauci better hope it applies to his whole life. And
it's an admission of guilt. It's an admission of guilt, really. Why would you cover something that doesn't need to be covered?
Yeah. It's not like a pardon of Lil Wayne, who had like some, some weed possession crimes or whatever the hell it was from Lil Wayne. It's like I'm pardoning Fauci. People are like, wait, why in the hell would you need to pardon Fauci?
I thought he did everything right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. According to the book.
Yeah, I thought it was a hero.
Can the guy be fired? I mean...
Oh, he's gone. I mean, he should never work again. But the truth is that guy doesn't need any money. He was the highest paid unelected official in government. He just loves the attention. Yeah, he still appears on CNN every now and then. He just shows up to be a prick.
Yeah.
I always thought it was virology. It's virology, turns out.
Yeah, I thought I pronounced
it for 50 years.
Yeah, I thought AIDS was, I had to say AIDS every time. Also, did you know that it's only with the gays?
I found out by being wrong a few times.
That's right. It took me several years of bathhouses and sodomy.
A lot of research I had to do.
Yes.
But I got to the bottom of it.
I method acted. I can't walk right for the rest of my life.
Sometimes they call me Fellatio Fauci. They see me coming.
At first, I thought it was derogatory. Then I realized it's not that bad.
It's an honor. Turns out a little fella don't fare too well in the bathhouses.
That's true, but being Fellatio Fauci, that really means something, because they've had a lot of fellatio from a lot of guys.
They used to have Fellatio Mike. Now he's Michelle. They don't like him too much.
That's right. I kind of feel bad for him because, when you're no longer Fellatio Mike, who are you?
Your identity's gone.
He looks in the mirror. He sees me. Which brings us to this week's 7+1.
You forgot Stefan in the chamber.
It's a new era. It's a fun era. Let me make sure I have these written down. This is actually this week. Oh, that's right. Because, everyone gets a book deal when they leave the office. That's how these people make all that money.
Political office and Navy SEALs, you all get books.
Yep.
Audiobooks or?
Well, actually, there's one audio. Thomas Sowell, all of his audiobooks are read by a guy who sounds like the, what's the name of that? Pollos Hermanos in Breaking Bad, that black guy. Really good voice. I don't know who reads the audiobook, but I think it's that guy, and I fall asleep to him all the time.
Yeah, he is a bit robotic.
Yeah, but he has a good voice.
It's great.
So it's actually a 7+1 rejected biopic titles for Joe Biden's presidency.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like Heroes of War and stuff like that.
Yeah. These were workshopped.
Right. Giancarlo Esposito.
No one knows.
Sure.
You remember the face. You know the voice. I appreciate it, but I don't think we need the name. All right, 7+1 rejected biopic titles for Biden's presidency. Number 7, Father of the Bribe. I see what's going on there.
Okay.
And number 6, Josh, how about we have a Photoshop on this one?
Good Will Hunter.
Oh, and he's in.
He's working there, not stealing
Goodwill.
anymore. That's nice.
The Goodwill. 7+1 rejected biopic titles. Number 5, Bops.
Why? Because it's my era, that film. To Ukraine with Love.
Oh, instead of Russia with Love, because I love the Ukraine.
I see.
I took a date to that.
Really?
No, I would have been 6.
Well, it could have been a Biden. Kidding. There would be no whining and dining. It'd be straight to the shower.
The ages match up. It could have been.
What do you think? You think I'm going to try and grease the wheels on a trip to Cracker Barrel?
I'm bummed we don't get any more of those. Any more of those speeches.
I could do the popcorn box trick.
But I'm going to do it at home.
How are you?
I do it at home, we'll rent. Instead of sneaking in popcorn like poor people used to do, he's sneaking in 6-year-olds in the sleeves of his winter jacket.
There's KJP coming out of those sleeves.
7+1 rejected biopic titles. Number 4, Josh.
President Evil.
Oh, that was because I never saw Resident Evil, by the way.
It's a fun game, fun movie.
Yeah. Number 3.
Hot chick.
Number 3, I Know What You Did Last Summer. Oh, you shit your pants.
Oh, we all know.
It's no urban legend.
That's a great
All the different
Photoshop.
faces. 7 plus 1. Rejected Biden biopic titles. Number 2, total retard. He's so dumb.
But if I am you and you are me, then who am I?
What if it was just a lady with 3 boobs shows up? It's just Bezos' wife.
Could happen.
Better than the maid.
Oh, man, that's so funny.
And the number 1 rejected biopic title for Biden's book, Josh.
There's something about Mary's daughter.
Yeah, she's at the right age and in prime.
Look at her armpits. They have earned them.
And the plus 1, Big Daddy, which only makes sense when you see the picture listening on audio. It's not really a thing. That has been this week's 7 plus 1.
You forgot Stefan in the chamber.
Yes, Mr. Firestine. And by the way, where you're going to be?
I'm going to be at the Spokane Comedy Club February 7th and 8th, SpokaneComedyClub.com.
Awesome.
Tickets there. And Trump is now greeting the inauguration crowd at the Capitol.
Oh, let's see what he has to say. Now he's off book.
Can you believe that bitch stayed seated the whole time?
Because I don't want to have all those big shots up there. I don't want to think you're more powerful than them. You look better than them, and I love you.
Man of the people.
She looks good.
We just had a
That's
great
very
time.
nice.
We just had a great day.
They look nice.
This was amazing. You know, when you think we took a journey, I mentioned in the speech, a lot of people said that was not a journey that was possible, and it was indeed possible. I didn't really know too much about what they were saying when they said that, but a lot of people felt it. And we hooked up with J.D. very early. I watched J.D. over a period of time. I endorsed him in Ohio. He was a great senator and very, very smart. The only one smarter than him was his wife. That was I would have chosen her, but somehow the line of succession didn't work that way, right? But now she's great and he's great. This is a great, beautiful couple and unbelievable career. I just said to him, you are very upwardly mobile, because he hasn't been doing it that long, but he picked it up so quickly. Remember, the first week was a little bit like the fake news was hitting him really hard. And I said, ooh, this may be tough, but after that, it was smooth sailing for him. He took on everybody. He took on the meanest. I don't want to use the word corrupt because we're into a new system, so let's wait till the corruption begins, because it will. But he took on some pretty mean people, and he handled it well. I want to also congratulate Mike Johnson for the job that he's doing. Steve, we gave him a majority of almost nothing, and then I said to make it tougher on him, let me take 2 or 3 of the people, right? I said he'll only have to suffer with that for about 3 months. How are they doing, by the way? Are they? Is that moving along?
Totally unified.
I said, do you mind if I take this one, that one, and a couple of others? He didn't mind. He can handle it. No, he's a man that's liked by everybody. I've never met a man like this. You've got how many is it, 219 or 220 or something? 220. And of the 220, 219 really like him. I noticed he got one negative vote once about 2 weeks ago. But I think even 220 like him, if you want to know the truth. And that's very unusual. I know a lot of nice guys in Congress, and they have 35 people that hate him. So if you have 35 people that hate you and you only have 1 or 2 or 3 votes, you'll have 5, I think. But that's going to be like, the good news is when we get to that 5 number, it's going to feel like a massive majority. You could be really nasty to a couple of them at least. So it's going to feel like hitting your head on the wall and stopping. It feels so good to stop. But he's done a fantastic job. And Steve Scalise he's our hero because, I was with him. You talk about being shot. I was with him. He got some bad ones, and his incredible wife. And, she really loves him. You know, you never know about that. I've been with other people. They were doing poorly, and the wife is like looking at her watch. She can't get out of the hospital. How's he doing? Oh, I don't know. It's all right. That woman
He's doing internal monologues.
She was crying and crying. No, they're going to take him. They're going to take him. I told Steve when he finally woke up, it was a while too. The doctor told me it was the most blood they've ever transfused in any patient. They've never done anything like it. And here he is, the picture of strength, right? And he's been a great friend of mine. Right? With a family, because of a family. And what a job you did. It worked out pretty much better than we even thought, right? And I did have a couple of things, to say that were extremely controversial. And between J.D. and Melania and anybody else that heard, please, sir, it's such a beautiful unifying speech. Please, sir, don't say these things. I said, I'm telling you, it's going to play great.
Do an impression of himself.
Right.
Trump doing Trump voices
It's
the
going to
best.
play great. You're the only ones I hurt by not, but we had some beauties, didn't we, Melania? She said, sir. Calls me sir when she's angry. No,
He's
I'm
a
only kidding. I better say I'm only kidding, or the press is going to pick that one up.
Calls me sir when she's angry, not like when she calls me daddy.
It's really terrible. It's such a nice speech. I think it's, it all depends on your delivery. How was the delivery? Was it good?
This has got to be the most personable.
Would you go on Yelp? Give me 5 stars.
You can't put things in there that you were going to put in. And I was going to talk about the J6 hostages, but you'll be happy.
Drink anytime he mentions, even though it's not a speech, it's still a continuation. Bring up the drinking game rules for people who are still with us.
On the J6 hostages. See a lot of that.
Just the word hostages
and I was going to
defines
talk
it.
about the things that Joe
Truly.
did today with the pardons of people that were very, very guilty of very bad crimes, like the Unselect Committee of Political Thugs, where they literally, what they did is they destroyed and deleted all of the information, all of the hearings, practically not a thing left. They deleted all the information on Nancy Pelosi having turned down the offer of 10,000 soldiers. You wouldn't have needed 10,000. You could have had 500, and it would have stopped.
We still have the footage here.
Because we may have a million people that day, the people that were there. You don't see any photographs, but we have a lot of great photos. But you don't see those photographs. They don't put them in. They show the people at the Capitol. But I was talking about that. I was going to talk about that. They said, please don't bring that up right now. You can bring it up tomorrow. I said, how about now in front of the very... I'll bring it up right now. This little time delay is good because we're getting great reviews on the speech. We'll take the speech.
Getting great reviews.
Because he left there and he's talked to people. But we're giving you a little more information than we gave upstairs. But no, they pardoned a lot of people. They pardoned, before we even get to today, they pardoned, 33 murderers, absolute murderers, the worst murderers. When you get the death sentence in the United States, you have to be bad because they don't give it much.
Give it more.
And he pardoned almost everybody having a death sentence. And if you went through the crimes that were committed, you wouldn't even believe them. The level of violence, the people that were killed, the innocence of people that were killed and children killed by these people. And he pardoned them for whatever reason. He spared them, but they didn't spare the people that they killed. And who knows what happens in the future? It's one of the worst. Because a lot of times they let
CBP1
them out
app
early
has
after
been
that,
shut
they say they're gonna
down.
be in for life, but then all
Really?
of a sudden they get let out.
While he's laughing and joking with the crowd, it has been shut down.
It's one of those little things, right? But I was
Wait, which
gonna
app?
talk about that.
CBP1, it was the mobile app that allowed people to come to the States
Right.
to get flights and stuff like that.
oh, yeah,
That
that's right.
Biden administration had set up and then tried to hide for 2 years. Yeah.
Trying to help
Good, done.
like Milley. Why are we doing Milley? He was pardoned. What he said, terrible what he said. Why are we helping some of the people? Why are we helping Liz Cheney? Liz Cheney is a disaster. She's a crying lunatic and crying Adam Kinzinger. He's a super crying. I never saw the guy not crying. He's always crying. I looked at him. I remember years ago he was actually on my side. And then one day, when you don't want to kill people in wars, they turn against you. He hated the concept of not going to war with everybody. Let's kill everybody. Let's spend a lot of money on military equipment.
See, when people, when they fact check Trump,
right?
what they're usually is that kind of hyperbole.
He's always crying. I've never seen him not crying. He's like, Biden's always pooping. I never see him not pooping. Looks me in the eyes. I know there's poop.
Like, it's a way of speaking. If you had a way of speaking that people determined was worthy of a fact check, okay, they can pick anything.
And they fact check and crucify it, but then they sum up his inaugural speech as narcissistic talking about me.
Yeah. And by the way,
same thing, you hypocritical bastards.
Every single president has had some streak of narcissism in them because they're president of the United States. In other words, they have to at some point believe they are qualified to run the free world.
Oh, you know that leader of the free world, Mr. Humble?
Yeah, exactly.
Better than anybody on the planet at that time in history. They believe they're the best.
I want my president to be a little narcissistic.
Sure.
I want you to care about your legacy, for crying out loud. I want you to be all laissez-faire about it.
I'd rather you be open about it, unlike Jimmy Carter, who would be like, oh, peanut farmer, man of the people. And then he would say, I'll carry up a suitcase, right? He was like, wouldn't have his servants, basically, his detail carry his suit. So he would literally have a suitcase that was empty that he would carry so they could carry his heavy shit.
What a tool.
Yeah, he actually did that. That's well known about Carter. And if you read from all of these detail workers and people who are in the Secret Service, they let you know who was genuine. Hey, Ronald Reagan believed in exceptionalism. He believed he was a great president. Great narcissist. Jimmy Carter was a liar who tried to act like, oh, gee golly, whole Roy Rogers, oh, shucks. And the fact is he was a liar and he was a prick, just like...
I'll give you another one. How about Richard Nixon resigning because of narcissism?
Yeah, exactly, resigning, which would be complete child's play. It was... we'll do another segment on Watergate. He didn't even know about it.
Yeah.
Actually, there's a 3 in 3. 3 facts, three key facts in 3 minutes or less about Watergate. There's a whole thing about Watergate. You can just go and download those wherever audio podcasts are available. There's one on Watergate. Most of you don't know what Watergate was. I'll summarize it for you. Couple of rubes decided to try and tap opposition's their room at the Watergate Hotel, and Nixon didn't even know about it. There you go. He resigned over it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. I know, you're thinking there must be more to it than that, considering what... No, there's not. There really isn't.
No, we did it in 3 minutes. You did it in 3 minutes.
Yeah, and you know why we know about it? Because Nixon himself installed recording equipment for all of his calls and conversations because he wanted to be ultra-transparent. And you can hear him go, what? They did what? Well, who's the asshole who cleared that? You're like, I don't know.
I remember asking my father, I didn't know they record everything in the... He goes, no, just this president. I thought, oh, this isn't standard practice? No, he did. He recorded himself.
Yeah. I mean, it does get a little awkward when he's like, oh boy, can we cut the tape? But actually, we'll continue with it. But we do actually have boots on the ground. And since we already invested in it, we might as well use them. We actually have our on-the-ground correspondent on retainer down there on Capitol Hill. None other than Mr. Thomas Finnegan. Let's go. All right, Finnegan, what are you seeing there on this historic day?
Hi, Stephen.
Where are you?
I'm here on Capitol Hill, but there doesn't seem to be too much going on right now.
Where are you exactly? That doesn't look like Washington at all.
Well, it's the only Capitol Hill I could find in Washington.
Washington as in the District of Columbia? Washington?
Well, the coffee shop at the corner has great Colombian beans. Seattle's known for it.
Okay, there it is. You're at the Capitol Hill. You're Capitol Hill in Seattle, Washington. All right, you know what, Toolman? This is cut it. We know what. I guess
that one's up.
What?
That one's on me. I'm sorry.
Did you hit the mute button?
Yeah, I hit the mute button. I had to burp.
As good a time as any to let people know there's 20% off the wholekrattershop.com.
Oh, no, there's 47% off.
Oh, well, I also have the promo code inaugural. Why would anyone use the 20% one? Why do we have that running?
They wanted us to start with that and then go to the 47.
Oh, well, I'm an idiot. I went straight to 47. I give too much.
They don't work together.
No. So, yeah, now that Trump is sworn in, promo code MAGA47, 47% off site-wide.
You can get one of these shirts.
Great.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we can't see it because of the lower third.
It's
on the lower third, and now you can't.
You're the kind who would cover up Bezos' wife's tits.
Look at these tits right here. Look at this. We are so back.
That's
baby.
a fun one.
Yeah, I like that shirt.
Yeah, it's very good. What'd you say?
He said he likes the gold chain. Now,
I wore it for Trump.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, it's like every rapper. Every single rapper, by the way, they reference Trump all the time until they were told, like, you shouldn't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, why? You don't want to be the best, huh?
They're so independent, they back down.
Yeah.
I love how people are calling I noticed this over the weekend. They had the concerts and the celebration for the inaugural weekend going on. And, Snoop Dogg performed, Rick Ross performed, Soulja Boy performed, Nelly performed, along with some other white people. But the liberal whites calling them racist and bigots.
Yeah.
For supporting Trump. It's just blowing my mind, dude. It's like, you guys... It reminds me, you mentioned McCarthy earlier. It reminds me of the days of McCarthy when they were having blacklists in Hollywood. And they go, people on Twitter, people on Blue Sky right now are going, making a list. Snoop Dogg just made my list. Okay.
That ship has sailed.
The self-proclaimed Long Beach gangster who has avoided murder convictions.
Yeah.
Now he's on your blacklist?
Right.
Okay, well, sounds racist to me.
Yeah, exactly.
Fine.
By the way, McCarthy it was actually right. There were plenty of communists. He was a little overzealous and he was kind of a bombastic prick, but there were plenty of communists. And we actually know now, like the Soviets, they're like, let's infiltrate their institutions, propaganda. Oh, you mean it's a crazy idea that the Soviets believed in propaganda and that they could somehow use that against the West? Go and read up there are plenty of books on it. McCarthy was not wrong about it. Today, it's McCarthyism today, only there are no fascists. That's the issue. They just go fascist, blacklist. Only you're not a fascist and I'm not a fascist. You and I have been just as blacklisted as any of the McCarthy blacklist in Hollywood.
You especially. I mean,
demonetized, deplatformed, banned from TikTok permanently. We literally had to find an alternative in Rumble. I'm the fascist. That'll be taken and clipped. All right. Let's watch Trump a little more.
He's probably still roasting people.
He probably is.
Because, if you look at my numbers with Hispanic, we're 56%.
Mike Johnson looks like the Brazier cartoon boy.
We just said he's not narcissistic. He come in.
My numbers with Hispanics, great numbers.
But as the governor said, it hasn't. Oh, did I get lucky? Did I get lucky? Supposing I said, he's not here, but the governor of Texas has done a terrible job. Wow, look at you.
I can't see you because you're lower than everyone else in your
front row, I tell you.
Freaky little Burger King Kids Club wheelchair.
Supposing I said
front row handicap parking.
The governor of Texas, he's not doing his job. You heard what I said? See, I didn't know you were there. I said he's doing.
I didn't know you were there, just like you didn't know there was a tree falling.
Because you didn't have. Not only didn't he have a partner, he had people selling the wall. Yes. Right? We have a fence structure that we worked on, the governor worked on with me. And I didn't love it, to be honest with you. I wanted a nice precast concrete, 40
He wanted to make it
he's such a builder.
Lego gummies. Have you seen those? They're great. You can't use the red dye anymore, but they're like gummy bears, but they're Legos.
Beautiful, a nice Y shape. And
now I want Lego
gummies. The problem
gummies.
is, sir, they climbed that like a rabbit. I said, what do you mean? Anyway, and they brought some of these guys out. They climbed
Bomb spaghetti!
And the other thing is you hit it with acid and the thing will disintegrate. They have things for concrete. So they needed very hardened steel, very special steel. And then they needed 7,000-pound concrete inside that steel, inside that steel. And then they have a rebar that's the toughest steel made. Very hard to cut. So this is why very little is cut. I mean, it's right. And then they put a anti-climb panel on top. I hated it. I said, it's so unattractive. And I said, why would that work? I don't believe it works. And I went to watch the Border Patrol, gave a display. We had actually 2 sets of climbers. The guys that climb up walls with drugs on their back, I mean, they got like 60, 70 pounds of drug, and they go as fast as you can walk. They go bip, bip, bip.
Like Cirque du Soleil.
Mount Everest-type climbers. And honestly, the drug guys were much better. I couldn't. The drug guys blew them away, right?
He's saying he didn't like the top of it. I didn't like it, and then he's going, I was wrong.
When you didn't have it.
They showed me and I was wrong. No one, other president's doing this.
Yeah, I know. Beauty for efficiency. And we did. So we built this wall, and we built over 500 miles of wall. That's why we had such good numbers. The famous chart that came down very thankfully. The chart that came down on my right, Governor, had I not looked over there, I'm not speaking right now. You might be speaking here. You want to know the truth? You, JD, and we've got a lot of great people in this party, but I got very lucky, but we had the best numbers we've ever had. But I bought, you know what happens is when you fill it up, it's like water. You fill it up. Now we have 571 miles of wall. And they would always say, you know, when we renovated a wall, so there'd be like a piece of plywood sitting there for 60 years, or a 2x4 sitting for 60 years on the ground and rotting. Because, you know, and they'll say, you didn't build a new wall. Here we're building 50 feet up in the air, 30 feet sections, 50-foot sections, all steel, all concrete, all everything. And all, by the way, they don't even want me to say this, but what the hell, it doesn't take that long time. They're all wired for all of the equipment. We put wires in everything so they can easily wire for all the different types of equipment. And if there's a doubt, we have a wire. Whenever we just look, you just find the wires all over the place up top, so we could just hook it up. We don't have to have wires on the outside, which wouldn't do too well, right? So anyway, so we built
Give them a jolt.
An extra 200 miles of wall, and the governor wanted to buy it. He tried to buy it, and they wouldn't sell it to him. He wanted to put it up himself. Could have been done in 3 to 4 weeks, 200 more miles, because when you do it now, they just keep going further out, further out, further out, getting around. So we did an extra 200 miles, and it was all bought. And they announced that they're not going to put it up. And that's when I realized they wanted open borders, and that's when I realized that people are going to come pouring through the wall like nobody's ever seen before. But you've seen it. A lot of you are here because of that. I made it my #1 issue. They all said inflation was the #1 issue. I said I disagree. I think people coming into our country from prisons and from mental institutions is a bigger issue for the people that I know. And I made it my #1. I talked about inflation too, but you know, how many times can you say that an apple has doubled in cost? I'd say it, and I'd hit it hard, but then I go back to the fact that we don't want criminals coming into our country. We don't want the jails of every country in the world virtually being deposited into the United States. And that man had to suffer with it. And he did an unbelievable job. I'll tell you, he was a very popular governor, but now he's like an unbeatable governor because of your border policies. He was fantastic. And he really was. So.
All right.
Governor
and for people who are not, we're going to be here, of course, tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern, as we always are weekdays. And we even are on Fridays, but that's only for Mug Club Rumble Premium members. You can click that button right there and join. None of this happens without you. And notice not a ton of live reads and 20 minutes of commercials per every hour of programming, and we can say whatever we want with a YouTube dump button. That's entirely because of you, as well as this groundswell, this landslide mandate, this election. It's because you, the people out there, have been heard, and you're no longer going to be silenced. You can download the Rumble app, too. You get automatic notifications whenever we are live. We're going to continue taking your chats here today. But before that, actually, we meant to do this last week, and then it just got moved.
Yeah.
Z is no longer going to be press secretary.
I'm going to miss it.
I'm going to miss. Yeah. Me as well.
They were adorable.
I'm going to miss that mop with a body.
They did their level best. And so as we go to Rumble Premiere here in just a few moments, Karine Jean-Pierre, don't say pirate. It's time.
Oh, she's a pirate.
To close.
I am obviously acutely aware. I am a black, gay, immigrant woman, the first of all 3 of those to hold this position.
Time to close. Endings and beginnings are ending and beginning now.
When it comes to illegal migration, you've seen it come down by more than 90%, and that's because of the actions that this president has taken.
But why do you think it is that when you say the economy is improving and President Biden says the economy is improving, that a majority of Americans outside of this building are not buying it?
When we walked into this administration, the economy was on a tailspin. That is the fact. Because of the last administration.
In Las Vegas, he told a story about recently talking to a French president who died in 1996.
I'm not even going to go down that rabbit hole with you, sir.
What is
We're
the
going to
rabbit hole?
Go ahead.
Time to close. Endings and beginnings are ending and beginning now.
Our
heartfelt condolences go out to the families who lost three folks who are military folks who are brave.
Is there any possibility that the president would end up pardoning his son?
No.
Well, is there?
I just said no. I just answered. Go ahead.
How many more assassination attempts on Donald Trump until the president and the vice president and you pick a different word to describe Trump other than threat?
I know that it's time for things to close. I know that it's time for things to close.